Now, after the raids, people took to social media to air out Diddy for seemingly leaving his kids to deal with federal agents while he fled in his private jet.
Fuck them kids.
Ensuring his temporary freedom while his kids sat in handcuffs.
Release me. Please. I beg.
Well, it appears his son definitely felt some type of way and left a shocking comment about his father, Diddy.
That's not a man.
Now, it's public knowledge that his mother, Kim Porter, died under mysterious circumstances, and many people are pointing to Diddy as they should.
There are only two ways to answer it, guilty or not guilty.
And even her ex, Al B. Shore, pleaded for his son to come back home after the raid by saying, "Come home, the door's wide open. You're safe here, son. I love you. Pops, you're biological." Now make sure you like, comment, and subscribe so that you don't miss nothing.
Just a moment, I don't want to miss this.
Now before we get into what his son recently said on the social media account, let's hear about how his mother was killed, and this will help you understand why his son is so upset with Diddy. Now, Kim Porter died at the age of 47 in November 2018 in her Los Angeles home.
She's my biggest inspiration.
Yeah, man.
And like, you know, even losing her and knowing that she's not here, but knowing that she's watching me is just like an inspiration to follow my dreams and go harder, because she was like my biggest fan. So
Same.
I feel like her presence right now, and every day I see her through numbers or just something like that.
The cause of her death was ruled as lobar pneumonia, according to the Los Angeles County Department of Medical Examiner Coroner. But many speculate that there was more to the story and that she was actually killed.
When I see her energy, okay, she's a strong, vibrant, articulate, even in spirit woman, and she wants her family to know she's okay. And she also wants people to know that this is not done, and that what's going to happen with P. Diddy over the next 4 years, it's a 4-year progression. So we're in almost 2024, so go to 2028 or thereabouts. What's going to happen to him is his vibration is moving this way and sideways, while the rest of the people are leveling up and to the opposite direction. So what she's showing me is that he will be forgotten about, which seems impossible because he's been all over the news like a crazy person, and is very famous and very wealthy. Another thing that I'm being shown is that he doesn't own all his wealth. It's a weird thing to say. He's got allegedly $700 million, if not more. That's just like, I mean, that's going back into the mid-2000s when they guesstimated that. It's not his money I'm being shown.
Once again, very true, as 50 Cent recently clowned P. Diddy for saying he owes over $100 million for his mansions.
So when they tell you these people have that money, he cannot do what he wants with all that money. That's a trick. It's a trap. It doesn't exist. I'm being told it doesn't exist. That does not mean he doesn't have 13 homes, a bunch of nice ass clothes, cars, Lamborghinis, women, tricks, you know, every equipment. He is given those things with part of the money, but he doesn't have control over it all, and they are siphoning it for him right now. The others are coming behind until there's a complete and utter takedown of P. Diddy and his 3 right-hand men, okay? 3. So there's going to be a takedown that comes in with that, and he's going to try to step away. They're not done. And here's another thing I'm being shown, okay? I don't know how to word this. This, to me, reminds me of like a binding spell in voodoo. And I don't know what I'm talking about with that. But his mouth is being sewn up. So when I see his face, the image I get is the mouth is being sewn up. So he is going to be unable to speak for some reason. I can't talk. I cannot speak for myself anymore. This to me sounds like a losing of faculties, a losing of thought, a losing of thinking. I cannot speak, but it's sewed up around his mouth. That's actually how I'm seeing it. They're going to stitch his mouth shut. Why? I ask why. This is how it works for me. So when something hits me, I get impressions, and I just express those impressions. I could be right, I could be wrong, obviously. Nobody's 100% right. It's always worked this way for me. So when I ask him energetically, meaning in my head, however you want to word that, when I ask her why his mouth is being sewn up, it's because of his mentors, and they don't want it coming out over here, even though some of them are outing themselves. These are old guys connected to old time, old style Motown. And she's showing me that he's being shut up from outing them or from speaking about them for some reason. So there's a hierarchy going on here, and there's a total takedown of him. He is being sacrificed. So he may think he gets away with stuff. He may think it's cool he does what he does, but now he's the sacrificial lamb. And I do mean that. There's something that comes up with him in March, speaking of the lamb, during the Easter time frame, March, April, right in that time frame. That's why I said lamb. There's something else that's going to come up with him. We are not done. It is a complete takedown, and then you will see this man's energy. So his 3 close right-hand people, and I have no idea who they are. I don't know who he considers close. There might be people he's seen with in public, and they might not actually be his 3 right-hand men. His responsibility goes long and far, but on a frequency level, astral level, which means when the physical body stops breathing, we step out into the realm around us. So it's like stepping into the air, into the ethers, except there's a doorway into another energy frequency. That's all it is a frequency, like a radio station, okay? So when we're talking about it, he steps into a different frequency, and they are blocking him. So you're not going to be able to connect with his energy as you evolve. I mean, you the people, we the people, all of us are not going to understand like where his power's gone, because it's going to be so obvious that we don't focus on him. And as a result of that, he cannot continue to do what he does. That is the balancing of karma. It's balance. Karma is not vindictive, it's balance. So when somebody is not responsible for their repercussions on earth and think they can just shove it under the counter, there is a strong female connected to Kim who's going to come out with more information, and it involves her family members and him, okay? Strong thing. A lot of people knew what this man did. That was confusing to me, because I understand money and power, and I understand, as is the case with Harvey Weinstein, a lot of people knew what was going on and nobody said anything until everybody said everything. We're seeing the same takedown. The time frame that we're in, Earth or this planet, is evolving, and it is a spiritual war. So if you are harming the essence and frequency of another person, and you continue to do it right now, your repercussions are to be removed from that frequency. Now, what does P. Diddy need most? He needs our attention, our admiration. He needs us to pay attention to him. He needs us on a frequency level. So this is what's happening to him. People are not going to respond. Like, he could walk down the street and people will not notice him. I mean, they might, but it's not going to be the same where people are like, oh my God. And there are younger musicians that are going to come out against him and talk about what he did. The bodies that are buried, okay? So the bodies that are buried, they're going to talk about it. Talk about it. There are men in other countries who are going to speak about it. There is political connections to him in other countries and this country. They're going to speak about it. He will not be able to spend his money. That huge amount of wealth. I mean, what are you going to spend that on? But do you ever wonder why these people only donate to specific organizations in a specific way, as opposed to, for example, leaving 600 million of the 700 million to help the homeless in LA or help people in the Ukraine or whatever it is? Yeah, no, not going to happen. Not going to happen, because he doesn't have control of that money. I'm literally being shown that. He has a lot of that money, but not all of it. So there is some sort of bait and switch that they have done to us when we look at somebody and admire them in order to keep our energy attached to his energy and attached to the idea that that's the way to live. That's not the way to live, because he's basically void inside, okay? So there's a voidness. Kim Porter stands up so strong, okay? She stands up so strong. I am being represented, and they will find out what he did. So somebody is legally representing her in her death, is what I'm being told. I don't know who it is or how that works, but somebody is representing her. I am not without basis for somebody to help me. She's being helped, and it's not behind the scenes. Somebody on this side is helping her image, her memory, her spirit on that side. She is not going to remain listed as a pneumonia death. I mean, it might be, but people are gonna know what happened to her. She's a really good girlfriend, and there's a series of girlfriends, actually. There's a whole series, and I distinguish a difference with one of them because the girl's hair color is different. So this other woman looks like an actress as well, who is very close to Kim Porter, and she had, I'm just gonna say it, like strawberry hair, or the hair is strawberry. She prefers that color. She's been secretly working behind the scenes to get information. And don't think if you're in his circle or you're around him that you're untouchable, because they're telling me he is being brought down. He is being sacrificed in favor of his mentor. So there is a mentor that did to him what he did to this current girlfriend and to Kim Porter and every other person that he's been around to take advantage of on an energetic level. He is now going to reap that. That is now happening to him because they don't want the person who groomed him to go down. And that guy hides in the background. There's a whole bunch of like political stuff going on. Like there's political stuff. There's ties to this country, that country. Don't think it's just about the music. The clothing was the clothing people love. I've talked to dudes that love the clothing. You hear the kids in school, they all want to wear the clothing, right? The clothing is a front for something else. The clothing is a front. Of course they have to produce clothing, obviously, or you can't sell clothing, but it's a front for something else. That clothing traveled all over the world. What happened as that clothing was traveling all over the world? That too is going to be rectified. So this man's going down. Within 4 years, I see his energy kind of whitewashed out, and I don't feel he's around. I know that something comes up around Easter time in reference to him and other people accusing him. I don't feel he's going to go to court ever. I feel it's going to be a continuation of dominoes until he can't take it anymore. And then there is a moving away, both in a physical sense and an energetic sense. But remember, they are shutting his mouth. He cannot speak. So that's coming up on him. Like, that's happening. They're literally, energetically shutting his mouth. So he can't even defend himself. He won't even be able to speak to justify what he did. You know, some people are like, yeah, but she deserved it or he deserved it. That's not even going to happen. He can't say it. They are shutting him down from communicating. The next thing they're going to do is turn our focus this way while he goes that way, and he won't even understand it. So this man is in a whole lot of shit on an energy level, and he's going to understand, and he's still not fully cognitive of what he did. So he himself snaps in and out of like, yeah, that wasn't a good thing to do. I didn't do anything. Like, dude, I paid her. I did this. He snaps in and out of that. He snaps in and out, in and out. So I wouldn't be surprised if what I'm seeing is like a drug addiction he may have or a way of tuning his mind out, but he should not be trusting anybody around him. Like, nobody, because they will turn on him, and there's 3 people directly close and tied to him that are going to go down as well. And by go down, I mean lose their money, their status, and their power, and be energetically shunned and tied down. There is such a thing. The frequency does it. He's staying behind in a frequency, and when you live in that frequency, you're not going to achieve anymore. That's what people don't understand. They think when they're 20, 30, whatever, and it's cool, they can do all of this, then the frequencies change on the planet, and what they've done becomes abhorrent to other people, when maybe other people understood it back then because they were benefiting. But that's not the case, because he doesn't have control of all of his money. That's what I'm seeing. And Kim Porter's energy is very much focused on her family and wanting them to know that she's trying to be around them. And in fact, I feel like they know she is around them.
So
same.
I feel like her presence right now, and every day, like I see her like through numbers or just something like that.
I feel like that. And there's one of her children, I'm sweet daughter, so I feel like obviously it has to be a daughter, but I feel like she constantly watches this one because it's a struggle. She watches this one. She wants her, now never think because someone died that they're dead the way they describe it, because she's very much alive frequency wise. So she has some say-so over her kids. Don't kid yourself. She may not have the say-so you and I have in a physical sense, but she is right there with her children. She can impose ideas on them and help them understand things in a different way so that they react differently. What she's trying to do now is neutralize the harm that's going to be put onto them by being in proximity of their father, meaning because they're his offspring, people are going to say challenging things and do challenging things to them. She's trying to kind of offset that. Oh my God. Okay, hold on. Stop. Offset. Is there a connection to P. Diddy and Offset? Is there some sort of a connection? I just, because I'm hearing it, I'm like, wait, that doesn't sound like what she's saying. Offset. Okay, so I feel, okay, he's responsible for a lot of things, but he's not responsible. He's also taking orders from somebody a higher up. I'm wondering what the connection is to Offset with P. Diddy. I have no idea, but I just keep hearing this right now. Like, I can't stop saying his name, and I don't know him or what kind of music. I know it's hip hop or rap or something, but there's a connection there as well. So we're going kind of down that road. So there's all of these people in the crossfires, and I'm not sure whether that's good or bad, but I just heard that. So there's people that are coming for everybody, okay? There's a connection to that person, Offset, and that side. And like, it's just systematic. It's gonna level like dominoes, level shit. It's being leveled. I don't know what that connection is. Somebody has to tell me. Okay, so when I look at Kim Porter, she's got a lot of stuff. She's taking notes. She took a lot of notes. There's a lot of notes, and her girlfriends have this information as well. Here's the problem I'm seeing. Some of the information that she has and some of the information that Cassie has is extremely damaging to people who are in higher worldly order, I guess, higher up on the food chain on this planet. So when she speaks and P. Diddy goes down, they have to shut his mouth because these other people don't want to be caught. But it's weird. I'm going this way and then over here, Offset, right over here. So pay attention to that. I am seeing something by March with P. Diddy, another level of this. We're not done. It's like he's going to have to keep putting tarps over the hole in the roof because the rain keeps coming through. So just when he thinks he covered up the hole, another hole starts down there. And when he thinks he covered that hole, another hole starts over there. So it's not gonna stop. Like, he's not off the hook. He may have paid Cassie, and good for her for getting out of it. Horrific. It doesn't matter who you slept with. Why is that blackmail? Stand up and say, this dude drugged me and he did this. She finally said it. And he doesn't want to face what he's done, but it doesn't matter. He's exceptionally psychic, by the way, so he gets physical feelings on when this is coming down, and he kind of knows it. And when he talks about Kim Porter, even though he's all nice and all good, like meaning talks nicely about her, at least publicly, to his kids, shuts the wall down with her. I don't even know. I shut it. He's trying to feel her energy. And I'm going to put it this way. Once she ended up dead, okay, Kim Porter, when she died, and they use the word dead wrong, because when we pass out of this physical existence, we are not dead. Dead is the absence of God in your life. So to step away from God, okay, and your soul is to be dead, we pass out of our physical body, as Kim did. But it's interesting because after after she first passed, I am seeing this, after she first passed, she didn't really understand what happened to her, which is not uncommon. And I feel like P. Diddy tried to hook into that energy to keep her energy close to him here so that he could kind of wear her energy even though she had passed. So he tried to keep that close. She got away and she blocks herself from him. He can't get to her. They spy out of their bodies. P. Diddy knows what I'm talking about with this. He gets out of his body and he can see shit. Meaning he can dream it, he can frequency vibe it, he can go on the astral, he can see it. He can see it. And they watch when their own die. Okay, so when their family members die, their rappers die. He's talking about another rapper here. He's not, she is. There's another one. I don't know who he is, but I can see him in my head. Anyway, there's another one, and they all watched when he crossed over. So what happens is, from what I'm understanding with this, okay, whoever they don't want around anymore for whatever the reason, okay, it's like they just don't want them because they're going to turn them in. It's a never-ending game. It must have gone on through centuries. But whatever it is that they don't want to have happen, they get rid of the person. And when that person crosses out, they can see them on the astral and they can snag their energy. So there's this sidestepping that person from moving on out of the Earth's energy into a happier dimension. They did not do it to Kim, by the way. But there is another rapper that died very recently who they did do this to, who they did block the energy. And when he stepped out of his body, he stepped right into them, right? Like, I don't know who this person is. I can see them, but I don't know who it is. When he died, he crossed out, okay, like out of his physical body, he died. And when he did, he saw them and they were alive, watching him die. And that's kind of what happened to Kim. And she pulled away from that energy. She was protected, so she didn't get caught in that. But that's what they're trying to do. They're playing a next level game of chess. So it's a different level of harnessing energy. So part of the sacrifice, which I didn't know this before, this I'm just being shown. Part of the sacrificing of a person or killing of a person probably happens in the mafia. All of those things is that they attach the energy of that person leaving here, because sometimes, just look at it this way, let's say you die in an accident suddenly, or you're murdered or whatever, you're going to be sad. You have kids, you have a home, you have a family. As far as I know, we only can remember this right now. And when you step out, you're like, oh my God, my family, my kids, my mother, you know, my sister, my babies. That's what most of us would be thinking. And so that sense of like, oh my God, I just died, and the expression energy-wise that they would feel, that's when they come in and they try to take it. So what they're doing is they are keeping slaves on this side, such as Cassie, okay? So she was basically a slave because she was trafficked. They're keeping slaves over here, and when they cross out of their physical bodies. That has more to do with the musicians that dies. The musicians that die of these overdoses or accidents or murder or whatever the hell happens. It has more to do with that. They capture that energy, and therefore they can use that essence to go over here and keep doing what they're doing. It's weird. It's a thing we don't even understand. I don't think that we're even supposed to see that, but the frequency is moving sideways, so we are being shown that. I want to say Offset again. I don't think he's dead, but I want to say Offset. I just kept hearing that. So there's a connection there too. I don't know what it is. He may know something, and he may say something, or somebody connected to him may know something. I don't know. There is a connection there. Anyway, there's a definite connection there. Watch for March of 2024, March, April, Easter time frame, Easter, Lamb, Easter. Watch for that. I don't know what that means. I don't know what's happening there, but it might be nothing, but that's what I just heard. So I'm going to put it out there, put myself out on a ledge again.
Sheesh, Diddy is even being raided in the afterlife.
I'm going to get you real bad for this.
Now his son Christian Combs posted a message after being stuck in handcuffs because of his father's crimes and said, "Stop the cap." Now, it's actually in direct response to Diddy being sighted in Miami, seemingly living it up with his friends.
Down here at Pura Vida by my pad, run into the man right here. What's up? Miami's like that. It's a movie.
Now, it's clear this family has deep issues and the whole foundation is starting to crumble right underneath them. The sins of the father will often follow you. Y'all let me know, should his son remain quiet at this point and just lay low, or was he right to speak out against his father? Y'all let me know how y'all feel about this, man. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe on the videos. Share these videos. And if y'all think that story was crazy, make sure y'all click on the link on the screen right now. Head over to Lionel B Stories and find out about the tragic life and death of Kimbo Slice.